let's talk success as in personal empowerment, being I am thriving in life, not surviving in life. I am a creator of my life, not a victim of circumstance. Okay, so let's define for the purpose of this conversation success in I'm empowered to create my own life. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So here's what those people, which is a small percentage of humanity, do that we can practice. So all of your viewers can practice. Never collapse failure with being a failure. So an example of that is the Beatles. You know, they were knocked back by the Decca recording company because they said they didn't like their music and guitar music's on the way out. Walt Disney was fired by the newspaper that he worked for, and because they said he lacked imagination.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan was cut from the basketball team of his high school, and he went home and bawled his eyes out. And like, let's look at Thomas Edison. He created the light bulb, but he listened to his story. Depending on the research you do, some say it took him 1,000 attempts to create it, some say 6,000, and I've read some views that say 10,000. So it's just, I don't know what the answer is, so let's choose the middle. Let's say 6,000, right? Somewhere in there. Let's say 6,000. Let's say it took him 6,000 attempts to create the light bulb. Now, when he was interviewed by a journalist along the way, and the journalist would have said something like, you know, Thomas, you've tried to create this light bulb thing for, you know, you've tried 365 times. Like you've failed 365 times. Why don't you just stop? Why don't you just quit? Here's the difference and why he's Thomas Edison and we're not right now. His perspective was, well, I have actually eliminated 365 ways that this doesn't work. I'm actually 365 steps closer to the light bulb. And he just kept going. But most of us, we go for something, Susan, and we don't get it instantly. And as Matt Church says, instant coffee just isn't instant enough. Yeah. And we go, oh, well, it didn't work. I failed. I'm a failure.
Yeah.
But the most successful people on the planet are literally the ones with the most cuts and bruises and band-aids on their shins because they have failed the most, but they never collapse failure with being a failure, ever. And if we did that, if we just stopped trying to be perfect and just stopped worrying about what people think of us and stopped fearing being judged, and we just got out there in life and gave it a good crack and picked ourselves up and dusted ourselves off and just kept going until we realized our dreams, we would be free. We wouldn't be stuck and oscillating, disempowered and waiting for the bag of money to fall in our lap.
Yeah. Sorry, I was distracted. It was a ping. No, it's okay.
That's Thomas Edison ringing to say, hey, thanks for sharing my story. No.
It's, you know, people don't realize that failure is part of the journey. You know, you need to fail so that you can reach that goal. I mean, I'm sure people like Bill Gates or, you know, Steve Jobs didn't rock out of bed like, hey guys, what's up? I'm going to invent this. It's a process, yeah. And especially with children growing up these days with mobile phones, everything that they get instant. You know, they're just basically being conditioned to think that they can get life goals come instantly as well. So then, you know, we need to also teach our children and to recondition our own habits that we actually need to work through this process. And it's a journey, and you either, you know, there's no failure. You either learn or you move on to the next thing.
You learn or grow. Every experience, you know, the way I agree with you, you know, the way I kind of put it is everything that's happening to us is either a lesson or a blessing. And either way, it's a blessing. We're either learning and evolving, or we're receiving the fruits of our labor. And if we just relate to ourselves as a perfectly imperfect, consistent work in progress and give up the addiction to be perfect, and liked by everyone, we'd actually be having a lot more fun. And, you know, there's a really simple practice that will help viewers achieve that if you'd like me to share.
Please.
I'm a huge fan, you know, of Tony Robbins, and